right, welcome to the One Last Question show. I'm your host, Anthony Aragon, and today I have Carlos Garcia with FYI Technology. Yay! Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here.
No, last minute.
No, this was a surprise, yeah, because I thought I was actually going to be doing the interview, but this is good.
All right, well, thank you. I appreciate you being flexible. So I would love for you to start off by sharing with us what FYI Technologies is.
So FYI Technologies is it's a company that I started many years ago. Actually started as a hobby / business on the side. My background actually is in education. I was a former IT director for over 20 years. Went to school, have a bachelor's degree in IT, and have a master's degree from Pepperdine University, also in IT.
Wow.
The reason being also that I got into this is I joke around that, I tell people that I was actually born a nerd at 13. And the reason I say that is that was my first introduction to computers. And it was actually the Apple IIs when they first came out.
No way.
Fell in love with it, and man, it's just something that stuck with me. I told my parents that's what I want to do the rest of my life, and here I am, blessed doing what I'm doing. FYI started because I also saw how a lot of small businesses, even in education, people were getting taken advantage of by bigger IT companies. And I also saw that, we all need to earn a living and all that, but we don't have to do it at the expense or at the cost of somebody that's just starting out, trying to watch out for their budgets. Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to do for folks is just be that straight person that it's going to be, this is what it's going to cost you. I'm not going to sell you tens of thousands of stuff just because I need to make a margin or I need to make my quota. Mm-hmm. This is more about what you need, not what I think you need without me talking to you. So it's become more about, and it's funny, it's become more like tech therapy with folks because I get to sit down with them and they just open up and just talk, and out of a lot of these clients have become great, awesome relationships. And that's what really FYI is all about, just building long-term good relationships with folks.
That's awesome. How did you come up with the name FYI?
Funny enough, it was my mother-in-law that came up with it.
Really?
Because every time she would say something to me, I was helping her out with Tuck, she goes, FYI. And I said, interesting. I may just have to use that as a company name. Everybody else uses it, right?
Yeah.
So it's FYI Technologies. So it encompasses everything related to technology.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And
so you just actually came from doing some community service right before we were doing this interview. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that? Like what?
Yeah. So Mike Patterson actually is the president of Upland Pride. He like his company says, Upland Pride. He's very proud to be born and raised in Upland, and he takes volunteering and making sure that the city stays clean, accountability to make sure that if trashes are overflowing, and it's volunteer work. He created this organization, and I've been living in the city for about 3 years, and I actually saw one of his postings, and I just thought, wow, that's pretty interesting what this guy's doing. Mm-hmm. But I also, where there's good, there's always bad. And what I mean by that is, doesn't matter how much good you do, there's always going to be people who are haters. That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved, because I thought, okay, there's a lot of people bashing this guy for doing something positive. Why? But I didn't see these people bashing being out there also doing something about it.
Like learning why he's
right.
There.
So my thing is, don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want to get involved, then do it.
Yeah.
Don't just talk behind a keyboard and say all this negative stuff if you're not willing to provide a solution.
Absolutely.
And that's how I got out there. I learned a little bit more about him, and every chance I get when I can volunteer, he's doing a phenomenal job for the city.
Cool. Now, if it's even worth mentioning, like what were some of the things that people were trying to push back about?
It's basically calling people out. Like, say, for example, one of the big things right now is downtown Upland, maintaining it clean and all that. Mm-hmm. There's actually a organization within downtown Upland that maintains they're supposed to maintain some of the stuff on there. So that's just an example. Also, but it doesn't get done. Months may go by. It may be at the parks where there's trash. A lot of vagrants hanging out at the parks, and they don't care. They leave stuff behind. There's little kids that play. Yeah. Needles are left behind and all that. Ooh. So we've seen a lot of that stuff too. Man, one of the cleanups we had, walking down Foothill Boulevard, I actually picked up a bag of blood. Dude, used bag of blood. That was there.
What the heck? What you'd get in a hospital, or?
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody was discharged and it was empty, obviously, but they just threw it in the sidewalk, and I'm like, whoa, that kind of thing. So he's out there to make sure that the Upland stays as beautiful as it's supposed to be.
That's right? Awesome.
And it's more, like I said, you're always going to have haters, man. But to me, it's like you can talk all you want, unless you're out there doing it, volunteering your time to do it, then you have a voice. Other than that, don't say anything if you're not willing to produce.
Absolutely. So. Now, I know you're a very involved person. Multiple things, organizations, on top of your company. How important is that? Are you being involved with the different organizations?
It's true, and my wife will tell you if I take on one more thing, she's going to kill me. But I will tell you right now, I'm currently also I'm an instructor for Mount SAC for the workforce program.
Okay.
Also for the County Office of Education in LA and for the ROP program. And I've been over a year teaching office occupation skills. And so what that is I get a lot of homeless students, including people from out of jail. Mm-hmm. And this is the part you really don't hear. You always hear about the bad, they're doing this and this and that. But these are the actual folks who are out there on the street. They want to better themselves, getting a skill, and they want to get out there and get a job. A lot of them want to get off their whatever programs they're on because they want to be independent. They don't want to have to depend on somebody else for where their meal is going to come from and all that. And dude, I'll tell you, it's been it's a 12-week class. I get new batch of students every Monday, so it fluctuates. But it's been a blessing of a journey because I know I'm not there to teach them. I'm there to learn from them, and that's kept me not only grateful but also humble. Because just when we think that we're having a bad day, or this is bad, or the sky's falling, you turn around real quick and you realize somebody else has got a lot worse than you, and really has problems.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been good, but yeah, like you said,
keeps you humble. Yes,
we all need that sometimes.
Yes, right? Absolutely. That's great. And how did you fall into that, or how did you?
I actually started teaching a class, an Excel class for training, and this was over through Mount SAC.
Okay.
So I partnered up with the County Office of Ed, and then the director that saw what I was doing with Excel was very impressed, and he wanted to open up a new class in a different center.
Okay.
And that's how this became. So it was more like I wasn't really looking for it, but dude, I'm telling you, I always believe there's a purpose what we're put in the situations we're in.
Yeah.
And so I just found just a new appreciation for helping folks. I already do that, but this now just solidifies. I begin from day one. I go through this journey with them, and it's a wild ride of fun just to see where they are and when they get their jobs and they move on through something greater.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's great. Gives me the goosebumps thinking about it. What has been the best experience so far with a client?
The best experience with the client, I think it's the fact that that immediate trust that I have with them when I walk in the door. Everybody has their walls because of bad experiences. And I would say most of the clients I've acquired in the last few years, it's been because of other bad experiences. So they come in already hesitant with this and that. And when they realize that I'm not charging them just for them talking to me on a text, because a lot of companies do that, and and they're willing to okay, well, how much are you? Well, that's it. We're done. We're good. And they're like in shock. Like, okay, so what's the catch, right?
Yeah.
And it's in good faith, man. If it's something very easy, and I always tell them, call me. If it's something I can do, it takes me less than 2 minutes to do. Why would I charge you for something that it's that simple? But that's just me. I have the ability to do that.
Do you think that sets you apart from others in the industry?
I hope so. I think what I really hope is just more of my my honesty and direct approach with that.
Yeah.
But it's, you've seen my hashtag is not your typical IT guy for that reason. I think over the years, IT folks have a bad rap. And the reason being, one is the ego, right? We always know that we're a lot smarter than what you think, and we'll always make people feel that small. I think the fact that I come in and I want to make sure that you understand what I'm doing, so you don't have that question mark or say, well, did he just rip me off because I didn't know what he was doing? No, I'm walking you through the steps. This is what needs to happen. You can do it now or you can do it later. Well, you take baby steps to do it, and just keeping that open communication. I think it's hopefully what's setting me apart, and it's gaining on some good momentum with folks.
Cool. That's really awesome. Now we're gonna we're kind of getting out of the business world for a second. So what is the number one song that gets you pumped up the moment you hear just a few bars of the song play?
Oh, dude, I've got two actually right now. There's a band called, I'm a metalhead. I've been a metalhead since I was a kid. So two of the songs right now that I utilize to get me pumped up because I go to the gym in the morning are the song X and the song Blood for Blood from Hell Yeah, the band.
Okay.
It's it was the former members of Pantera. The brother just died who was a drummer. He started that band after his brother passed away. But are two of the most powerful just songs that are just, man, any moment you turn this on, it's like game on. You know what I mean? So
what is it about those songs that just...
It's the heavy drums, the guitar work, because I'm a musician too. So for me, it's all about listening to music and the riffs and all that.
Yeah.
But also having strong, powerful vocals. You know, there's a lot of garbage out there. We know that. You know, and in heavy metal, you also have these dudes are just sound like they have laryngitis and they're, the whole rah. And I can't stand that. But this guy has that powerful voice backed by powerful music, and it just gets you pumped, man. That's all I can tell you. You know what I mean? You'll have to look it up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's really cool. And how did you have you known about these songs like since they were made, or?
I know about the band because I'm a huge Pantera follower, and when they split, I knew that his brother had another band. I actually got to see them in LA for the only one and only show in LA that they did before somebody shot him just because they were pissed that Pantera broke up. That's how he passed away on that. And then his brother, as a tribute, started another band for his brother. So I knew of them. I've heard some of them. I heard some of the stuff from the current band Hell Yeah, but it wasn't until I don't even know what I was flipping through, and the song just came on, and I was like, "Whoa, that's like powerful." You know? So I knew about them, but never really paid attention up until now.
Got it. Now, since you've uncovered that, being in you were in a band, or
it's on hiatus. It's been for hiatus in a year, dude.
Oh, okay. So this is still fairly recent too.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So how did you start that?
I actually started playing back right out of high school. We had a band, and I play guitar, so I write all the music. I used to write all the lyrics and stuff. Had a great vocalist, and then that was my passion for a long time till I guess I grew up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that I wasn't gonna pay the bills. So just in the last 2 years, I reconnected with some friends, and my goal is I want to put out a CD.
Cool.
And it's not so much to be famous, but just on my bucket list that I was able to do this. And take care of it. Which, by the way, the current band name is Hard Drive, just so you know. Right? Love it. Yeah, connection, right? Yeah. So a bunch of tech nerds, man, on Hard Drive playing it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
One of my bucket lists is actually to win a Grammy. Now here is, because I don't have any musical talent, so here's the way that I found out I want to win it. So I love listening to Kathy Griffin, the comedian. Okay. So she won a Grammy because she had one of her comedy CDs, and it got onto the spoken word category.
Oh, interesting.
So when I found out about that, I was like, oh, that's gonna be it. That's how I'm gonna get my Grammy. So
nice.
So somehow I don't know what yet, like what kind of spoken whatever, but I know that's gonna be the category that I'm gonna go in. So
is this leading you to the journey?
I think so. Okay. Yeah. Because I still don't have like a very specific thing that I'm like, okay, I know I could submit this to be put on there, but I just know that it's all working in the background, and something's gonna come up that's gonna be able to put me onto that list. So
yeah, you got my vote, dude. For sure.
Yes, one.
There you go.
Hey, that's the
Everyone
one.
starts at once, right?
Exactly. So. Yes. Just like Lady Gaga when she was doing our promotion, 99 people could say no. We just need that one to help you out, to reach out a hand. Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that again. How important is your family in driving you on a daily basis?
It's very important, man. I think without my family support, I just couldn't function. You know, my son just turned 13, so he's a huge part of my world. Same thing with my wife's always been very supportive. This year actually we'll be married 22 years.
Wow,
so
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it's been she's been a huge backbone, and we've gone through a lot in the last 10 years. But I think that at the end of the day, family is what's going to get you through a lot of those hurdles and bumps. You know? and I'm fortunate to have I have a great family, between her and my son. So
awesome. So is your son only child?
Yep.
Okay.
And we got furry babies too. So I got two other boys. Right? So,
and that's probably like a different level of like support that they provide.
Oh, totally, man.
Yeah.
Totally. It's funny because I was making last night a remark that we were kind of hanging out in the backyard and the dogs were inside. I was looking at them. It's like I can't see my life from this point on till I'm like ready to die without having a dog. They're just phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Just awesome little critters, man, for sure.
That's great. It's I don't have that same love for. I used to actually. I think what we've boiled it down to is I had a. Oh, what was she? It was when I was younger, like early teens. Anyways, I English Springer Spaniel.
Oh, okay.
And so she was a really great dog. And it was Christmas Day. I had just got the remote control car. So there's a campus right down the street in a huge parking lot. And we're like, oh, perfect. It's Christmas. There ain't no one there. Mm-hmm. We go test it out. So we were testing it out. And these couple guys in a car, they just like were gunning it through the parking lot. And the dog was chasing the car, and they had ran her over.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh my God. Like, it wasn't like there was cars so they couldn't see her. Like, it was a huge open parking lot. So my mom says, like, that probably is. I'm like, I don't think so. Because there's other things like they have slobber and. I'm like, oh, no, I can't deal with that. But yeah, she said, oh, it's probably because of that. I'm like, okay.
But you know what? I'm going to tell you, man. It's the only animal that will unconditionally love you no matter what. And that's how I look at it. No matter if you're down or not, dude, they're right next to you, trying to make you feel better. And they sense it. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I can't explain it, but to me, it's like love at its purest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Cool. Maybe I'll explore that down the road. Yeah. All right. And who's the one person that has impacted your life the most?
You mean, are we talking about professionally or are we talking about just
in general? Yeah.
Wow, man, I've gone through a lot of good influences and positive stuff. Definitely my parents, obviously, for as hard as they were on me, it's, I owe it to them from where I'm at now, even though they're not around anymore. But I would say a big impact was probably going to be my junior high football coach, dude. I always refer that back to him because it's where he really, as much of a hard ass as he was, taught me a lot of discipline. Not to give up, no matter how tired you are, you push. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because even when I got married, I invited him to my wedding. He actually made the time to show up to my wedding.
Whoa, that's awesome.
It was just a really awesome feeling to see him. And I think that drive and that momentum of competitiveness and not giving up, I owe to him, for that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And then, who do you look up to as an adult?
As an adult, I've let me start with you. Okay, and I mean this. You're one of the persons that, and I can say this on a handful of folks that are always out there willing to help others. Mm-hmm. No questions asked, no second intentions or anything, and I admire that a lot on folks. So it inspires me to do that much better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Always giving back, and that's who you are. Anybody needs your help, it's like boom, you're there. No questions asked. And to me, that's people that we should model after. If we had more people like you, like other folks like that are doing the same thing on there, dude, we wouldn't have half the problems we have now. Yeah. And all it takes is you're caring for other human beings, very plain and simple. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. Cool. I appreciate that. Yeah. And I think someone had, I think it was Amy, said like people attract like people. Mm-hmm. And so I think that those are like qualities that I definitely like see you emulating too. So it's like we all kind of like feed off each other.
Absolutely.
Like continuously inspiring each other, like, and we might not even know like
that's
that
true.
I'm doing it, but I see you do it and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like I want to kind of emulate that too. So
you're right.
That's awesome. And then who did you look up to as a teenager?
As a teenager. Wow, man, you're going to make me think way back.
Come on, it's about 10 years ago. You're good.
Thanks, man. Don't let the gray hair fool you, right? Gosh, dude, I as a teenager, I always say that one of the first loves of my life was my grandmother, man. And I think when I go back to, and I don't want this to sound bad for my parents, but it was that bond I had with her that it was just incredible, man. You know, that's the best I can describe it. I was fortunate enough that she got to meet my wife when we got engaged before she passed away, which was a great gift for me. Yeah. You know, but to this day, it feels like it was yesterday. She just left. Wow. You know, so that's how much of an impact she continues to have in my life. I don't think I'll ever get over that. You know, same thing with my parents, but I think as a teenager, that was probably my biggest impact. You know, from an individual. Yeah.
Do you think grandparents have kind of that bigger impact on their grandchildren more so than? Well, I mean, we learn a lot from our parents, obviously, like who we become and stuff like that. But because I've heard this from other people, I know my mom, she was very impacted by her grandmother. So I'm just wondering, do you think maybe the grandparents do have bigger impacts?
You know, I think it's. I think we can say it's on a case by case because you also have grandparents that once the kids are gone, they don't really want anybody back. It's their time. Yeah. You know, and I understand that, but I think for the most part, I think you're going to find that most of them do have that impact. But again, it's just also, I think it's based on the type of relationship we have with our parents or they had with their parents, you know what I mean? That's going to either make that grow or kind of like keep grandpa and grandmother on that side.
Got it. Love them from a distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay, now that you're down memory lane. Okay, so what song defines your high school years?
What song defines my high school year? Damn, dude. We're back in the 80s, man. It's a great decade for music.
I love 80s music.
Yeah, same here. Wow. High school. Let me think here. I would say it would have to be Metallica, man.
Metallica.
Do you want a specific song?
Sure. If one comes up.
I think the first time I heard Whiplash from Metallica, I was just like, damn, that sounds really, really good. You know what I mean? It's fast, speed, and I think that would be one song that really just comes right to mind, man. It's that song from Metallica. Yeah, some of the heavy stuff.
So, since you're like kind of in the music like industry, what would you say was, because you got to see all these different genres of music kind of come up, what fascinated you about that?
It's mostly, like I said, it's always been about the actual music that I listen to. So my parents were very religious, right? Growing up, and when I was growing up as a teenager, going into high school, I would have, you know, the Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, Iron Maiden, all this kind of shit on my stuff, right? And my parents would hate it. They would always just like, my mom must have broken like at least 6 Motley Crue albums.
Oh no!
But she never found my 7th, so I was always one step ahead, you know. But I would say that it's just, you know what, it's the music, the drive, because I would also tell them it's not that I'm listening to, you know, these think Ozzy was the devil and this and that. But I said I don't listen to the lyrics for that. I listen to more of Randy Rhoads was a great guitar player. I listen more, it's the music that impacts you. If the lyrics are great, even better. But I will tell you that there's some great songs out there, but if the lyrics are just horrible, it's all about cussing this, putting people down, it's like, there's no point in listening to it. It's got to have a story, it's got to have a purpose, and it's got to just drive you. You know, that's what I love about music. And again, don't get me wrong, it's not just heavy metal that I listen to, because I listen to a lot of Spanish music, opera, different kind of things and all that. But it's got to have that soul connection for you to listen to. You know, so, and I fluctuate. I mean, there's one week where I'll just listen to like Placido Domingo or whatever. There's other weeks where it'd be like the new wave stuff. But at the core of it, it's always been just heavy metal.
You know? That's pretty awesome. And what is one misconception you had about being an adult as a child?
One misconception that I had as an adult, as a child, right? Is that?
Yeah, about being an adult as a child.
I thought that life would be easy, man. You know, make money and that's it. Everything else is just, icing on the cake. But we don't realize that when it comes time to take care of our own lives, and when we used to ask our parents for this, and that, you kind of understand why the no came.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think those have been good, hard reality lessons. That it's like, no, this is the real world. It doesn't work in our fantasy world that everything is a piece of cake and and all that. Something I'm trying to teach my son now too. Yeah, just for him to realize that it's mom and dad are always going to bail you out, no questions asked. But you have to start learning responsibility. And all that too.
Do you think there's ever a time where that can become a reality? Like
as far as being more like an easy life, you mean, as an adult?
Yeah.
I think, man, we're always gonna have obstacles. I think the reality of it is, it's how we choose to handle it, right?
Yep.
It's like I tell my class sometimes too. Words are meaningless unless you give them power. If somebody's putting you down, somebody's calling you this, and that, it's your choice whether you let it get to you or not. At the end of the day, who can control their environment? It's you. Yep. You can move yourself out of it, or you can stay in misery and stay in it. Right? So it just depends on how we view things that are thrown at us as adults, and we can either deal with it in a positive way and do the best we can from it, or dwell in it, be miserable, and make everybody else around us miserable.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. What advice would you give a 20-year-old that wants to be an entrepreneur, but their parents are telling them to go to school and get a job?
I think you can do the best of both. Okay. I'm the one to believe that you don't need a degree to become successful. If you're going down the corporate route or an education, it's unfortunate, but you're required a degree to be able to move up. And that's another drive why I wanted to go back to school and do that. But it also adds a lot to your professionalism too. It doesn't matter if you go to school, go and learn some of the basics. But if your passion is in being an entrepreneur and you have these great ideas, just learn the basic of what it's going to take. If it means that you need to take like QuickBooks, so you know how to run your account, you know how to do this and that, then do that. Don't think that it's because, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs get in the mindset that, okay, so now I have my own business, now what? But I don't think what they realize is you and I are hustling out there every single day. Every day we're looking for a job, and it's a client that we're trying to find. Yeah. Right? So you look at it from that perspective, is every day we're out there interviewing for new opportunities. And it's a lot of hard work. You can relate to that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what marketing is. Networking is we're putting the call out there like, hey, this is what we do. And then we have to go through the list. Well, are they really dependable? Can they really? So we have to overcome all those barriers. And I think it goes back to what you said earlier, is like you have that ability to bring someone's walls down very quickly. And that's important. Because if not, then you'd become that struggling entrepreneur. Right. So it's really important, and it'd be interesting to hear how, like, kind of what it is that you do to be able to do that. I think you may have said that. So check the beginning of the.
Yeah, and actually, I'll actually tell you really quick how I started. Believe it or not, I actually am a very shy person. Believe it or not, my wife used to be the outgoing one. Over the years, tables turn. Now she's the shy one, and now you can throw me in the mix of anybody, and I'll pick up a conversation with whoever it is. Yeah. But it wasn't until a friend of mine told me, because before you met me, it was more about very professional, very quiet, and sometimes I would get, it's like, is he upset? No, I'm not upset. It's just I'm absorbing my environment. Yeah. But it wasn't until you got to know me that that I'm a goofball, dude. I joke around a lot. I like to have a good time. So a friend of mine said, why don't you run our meetings exactly the same way you hang out with us? And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Right? I was like, how the heck am I going to do that, right? Yeah. This is me being comfortable because I'm comfortable with you guys. Yeah. And I'm around strangers. So it was just a moment where I said, you know what? Heck with it. What's the worst thing that can go wrong, right? Yeah. And that happened a couple years ago, and I never looked back. Even more so, I can't even go back to that serious person like that. It's just more about just being really friendly and getting, and I think that's what comes across, I think, with a lot of folks that connect. And
you're consistent with that. So the person that you show up to be is the person that you are after. Exactly. When you work for them. Okay.
Yeah, and it's, I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not, and I think that's what that's what folks need to realize, is that you don't have to be that salesperson or that mask. Just be you, man. You know, and
absolutely,
things happen.
I know the other day I was in an event and these guys in like very nice suits, someone introduced me to them and they're like, "You really need to know Anthony." And so I went, "Oh, hey, Allison, nice to meet you." But I noticed they had looked at what I was wearing, and I think I had shorts and like a polo shirt. For me, I'm the same way. Like, I don't care what I'm wearing. You're gonna meet me. You're gonna meet who I am.
Yeah, the real you.
Yeah, and then you're going to love me afterwards because that's all I know. That's all I know how to love on people and to make sure cater to them. So he just shook my hand and then he just went off to someone else. I'm like, wow. I go, there's still people like that in the world, because I didn't match his model of the type of people that he needs to be meeting, not knowing who I am or what I do. And I'm like, that's fine. You know, unfortunately, that's where people get into struggling all the time and always having to, like be over the top with their marketing and stuff like that, because they're not authentic. And that's the biggest thing nowadays. You have to be authentic in order to get people to say, like, you know what, I dig you. I want to learn more about you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're connecting at their own level.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Who is your biggest cheerleader?
My biggest cheerleader, I'm fortunate to have a good group of folks. I would have to say, man, and this is no knock on my wife, I would say my son's my biggest cheerleader. He's my drive. You know,
that's awesome.
It's like Pops, he looks up to me, like, you know, we have just a very awesome bond. To this day, it's funny because even when he was really little and he was off on vacation, I would take him to networking meetings, like the luncheons and different things. Yeah. And I would introduce him as my chief marketing officer, just for him to have a purpose. Yeah. You know, and it quickly became that he was just really comfortable around the adults. We just had a parent-teacher conference not too long ago, and the teacher asked us, he goes, "Does your son hang around a lot of adults?" And I said, "Why do you ask?" Because, you know, he's the only kid that we've had that when he sees us, he says good morning, looks at us in the eye and shakes our hand. And I'm like, well, that's great to hear. Yeah. You know, something's working, right? But he's, you know, and I still have, when he was about 4 or 5, dude, he actually drew, just out of the blue, drew me almost like a stick figure with a red suit, holding a cell phone with a briefcase and a tie. And the caption was FYI Technologies. And he said something about, if technology makes you cry, something in his own little words. In his mind, to me, that's worth, dude. So he's always been my biggest cheerleader.
That's awesome.
And vice versa. You know, I'm always, there's nothing I wouldn't do for this kid. You know?
That's great.
So
that's cool. Oh, very heartwarming. What does living your best life mean to you?
Living my best life, I would say that when I reach that point where I'm comfortable taking care of my family, that I can just volunteer my time to help others. That's my ideal, perfect life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Be able not to have to worry about my family, they're taken care of, but now having that freedom to just help who I want without any limitations.
And where would you say you're kind of like on the spectrum of that? Where would the kind of hand fall?
I'm actually having some, I want to talk to a few folks, because I have a concept that what I'm teaching right now for those that need help, I want to take that to a bigger level. And based on what I've seen and what can be accomplished, I think that it's an untapped area where we can really help a lot of people get back on their feet, those that want it. Yeah. You know? So I don't know how all that's going to play out, but in my mind, I just have this concept and I feel like I'm putting it out there to attract the right people to make it happen. You know? Yeah. Things like maybe just a facility, we're having a lab of computers and having a trainer there and just getting the students enrolled and all that. I don't want it to be like a typical school. Yeah. I want it to be specifically to help folks that need that to get back on their feet.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah, that's really awesome. And so you're at kind of like the development stage of that right now. Okay, fantastic.
The concept, absolutely.
Nice. Awesome. I can't wait to hear more about it. Okay, so that's all I have for questions. Okay. So thank you so much for being open and sharing with us. So next, I have a couple of activities. The next one is trivia, but it's with a twist. So you're allowed, there's 10 trivia questions, and you're allowed to get 3 wrong. At the third one, we'll finish the questions because I always think these are funny questions. But I have in the jar here, I have three different ways to be tortured, and it's kind of like your taste buds get tortured.
Oh, wow. Hey, just for the record, I am not smarter than a 5th grader. So I'm putting that out there before we start, man.
So that means we're going to be utilizing this today.
Okay.
So, okay. All right. No, I think some are kind of down your alley. I try and find the easier ones. Some of them, like, I don't even know that. So, yeah, let's go to skip that. Okay. So, what year was the first model of the iPhone released?
Oh, dude, you're going to kill me. I should know this. I want to say it was, let's see, we're up to 11.
Uh-huh.
Either, I want to say it was around 96 or 95, somewhere around there.
No, it was actually 2007. The first iPhone.
The first iPhone?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, okay. Wow.
Okay, and which kind of alcohol is Russia notoriously known for?
Vodka.
Yeah. Okay, what is meteorology the study of?
And it's not meteors, it's the weather and, and all of that, yes.
What does HTTP stand for?
Hypertransfer protocol, right?
Yeah.
Hypertext?
Yep.
Transfer protocol.
Yep, you got it. Well, I didn't know that. I was like, what?
I should know this because I do web development. If I don't, then I'm in
That's
trouble.
why I put it on there, because I was like, more likely he knows this one. Which country produces the most coffee in the world?
That's a good question. I would have to be biased and say my country, Nicaragua, but I know that's not wrong. I know that's wrong.
Yeah.
Can I get a hint?
Okay.
South America?
It is South America, but I hope it is the biggest country in South America.
So it's not, is it Brazil?
Uh-huh.
See, I was going to say Colombia.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but that's cocaine. But not this show.
Wrong show. Yeah. Next segment, yeah.
That's the late show now. Okay, yes, Brazil.
Okay.
I was like, wow, interesting. Which natural disaster is measured in a Richter scale?
Earthquakes.
Yes. Which email service is owned by Microsoft?
Live or MSN or Outlook or Exchange or...
There's one more.
And it's the one I'm going to forget, right? Of course. Hold on. Email service, right?
Yeah.
God, what am I missing, man? Okay, I'm gonna give up on that one.
Okay, it's Hotmail, but I'm gonna give it to you because you named like all the other ones.
That's right.
So
is that even still around?
Yeah, I actually have a Hotmail account.
Really?
But yeah, I changed it over to Outlook.
Okay.
But I can still get emails through the Hotmail.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you're not using AOL, dude. Then I would start to worry about you. But I know people that are still using it.
Yes. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, what's the primary ingredient in hummus?
Oh, I don't know, dude.
It's the chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
Yes.
Okay. I would have never guessed that one.
Is Java a type of OS?
It's a type of script language for programming.
Okay. So that's a yes or no.
Okay, so what's the question again?
Is Java a type of OS?
No.
Okay. And which element is said to keep bones strong?
Calcium.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow, I don't feel so bad.
You only got 2. And for that, we're actually going to celebrate. So these are confetti poppers.
Oh, cool.
So, I think yours, yeah. Okay, so it says turn to the left. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Sweet. All right.
Yay!
Best part of the interview.
Yes.
All right.
You're the first one actually to get everything right. So,
all right.
To win, to get the most right, I should
All right.
say.
Cool deal.
Awesome. So, just to let you know, some of the tortures in here, one of them was bugs, dried bugs, Bean Boozled, and then I think they're warheads. Yeah, warheads.
I forgot what warheads are.
They're like the super sour candy.
Oh.
Yeah. So, hey, you're the first one. Oh, delivery's here.
I don't think your doorbell's working, man.
It doesn't.
Oh, no. So like, okay, I'm gonna text them or.
Okay. Next, what we're gonna do. Do you have your phone?
Yes.
Perfect. Can you put 2 minutes on
Timer?
Yeah. You know, I have to figure out how to get these to sync with each other. Because when we did it with Amy too, it wasn't. I think mine popped before hers.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is rapid fire. So there's no. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. There's no right or wrong answer on these. These are just trying to see what you get out of
like trivia too?
No. So, like, for instance, I'll ask you. Favorite decade, 90s or 80s, okay. And then just answer one of them. Whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay.
Excuse me. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Go. Favorite decade, 90s or 80s?
80s.
First song on or number one song on replay right now.
Don't know.
How often do you change the blinker fluid?
There's no blinker fluid.
Yeah. What's your thermostat set at for the summer?
77.
Black coffee or creamer with coffee?
Creamer with coffee.
Okay, stomach side or back sleeper?
Side.
What book are you currently reading?
Actually, Jesus Calling.
Cool. Last time you laughed uncontrollably?
A couple of minutes ago.
Have you ever painted a picture?
No.
Glazed or jelly filled donut?
Jelly filled.
Wonder Woman or Catwoman?
Ooh, Catwoman.
Fishing or baseball?
Wow, is there a third choice?
No.
All right, I'd say I guess baseball, man.
Do you get car sick?
Not really. Well, I used to, not anymore.
Okay, if you own a bar, what would you call it?
The Snake Pit.
Ooh, are socks with flip flops acceptable?
Yes.
Electric toothbrush or manual?
Both.
Goodfellas or Godfather?
Godfather.
Do you moisturize?
No.
Do you make your bed every day?
Yes.
Corn or flour tortillas?
Flour.
Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel?
Fallon.
Do you know how to tie a bow tie?
No.
New York or California?
I hate California the way it's going, so I'm going to go to New York, man. Even though I've never been there yet.
Salted or plain pretzel?
Salted.
Okay. And do you play an instrument?
Yes.
Okay. And do you listen to your radio or play your own songs?
My own songs.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for being part of the One Last Question show. And this is the part where I ask you one last question.
Okay.
Have you ever done an ASMR video?
Define for me what ASMR is.
So I can't even say it.
Say it 3 times fast. Come on.
So what it is, it's people have certain sensory stimulation to very low, like whispers, taps, and stuff like that. So they're great videos to watch on YouTube.
Okay.
So have you ever done one before?
No.
No. Okay, great.
Remember, you're talking to a loud mouth metalhead dude that's loud.
Okay, so we're actually gonna cut right now, and then I'm gonna give you some instructions, and we're gonna get some things to utilize, and then we'll be back. So see you in a second.
All right.
Hello, my name is Carlos Garcia with FYI Technologies, and I just finished on the One Last Question show with Anthony Aragon. So I'm about to cover some little samples of ASMR for your listening pleasure. So I have a hard book by Russell Brownson that I'm kind of hanging out here. Don't know if I'm going to read or not, but I figure you can kind of hear a little bit about it. Next, I'm in the mood for a little bit of Dr. tea candy.